But the reason why I'm not totally against it anymore, the more I've thought about it, the first one is if you get him for the league minimum, and that's, I think, what he'll play for, at some point, if he struggles here, you can bench him and still have enough time in the season to see what you have in Pickett. I don't think it's one or the other. I think you could actually accomplish both next year. You could take a flyer on Russell Wilson, and you could see if Kenny Pickett is your franchise quarterback. I think you could accomplish both.
But if Wilson actually does play well, then you know Kenny Pickett isn't your franchise quarterback by default.
Right. Russell Wilson gets the first stab at it. He's the Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's the guy that has a big resume. It's your job. If you struggle at some point in the year because it's a one-year deal, the Steelers are going to bench you and give Kenny Pickett enough games to make up their minds on him. So I think you could do that.
Man, I wonder how Russ would deal with the idea that he might get, yanked out of the lineup maybe 6 games in if he's just playing mediocre football.
I mean, he got benched for Jarrett Stidham. And the checks.
Yeah, but it was, again, there was a friction.
I know, but the checks from Denver are still going to clear. He's still going to make his $34 million if he's standing on the sidelines with his arms crossed, watching Kenny Pickett out there. He's still going to get his money. I know it's not an ideal situation, but if it goes that way, I don't think that it has...
How does Pickett feel about it? It's not Justin Fields, who's actually younger than him and was picked higher than him and a better quarterback.
I think he would understand it more. I think the same way that Zach Wilson understood that he was losing his job to Aaron Rodgers.
Even though he's an old guy, he's an old Super Bowl winner in this case?
He's a winning quarterback with a lot of pedigree who's probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame one day. He's a borderline Hall of Fame
It wouldn't reflect well
candidate.
on Kenny if he didn't, if we got word that he wasn't happy about it.
And then the other one is, if it doesn't work, it's like no skin off your back.
Well, that's the best part of it.
If it fails, if you try and it doesn't work, all right, you move on. It's not hurting future salary caps. Your hands aren't tied. You're not at a disadvantage moving forward. You rolled the dice. You took a shot. It didn't work. To me, in that way, it would kind of be like when Indy brought in Phillip Rivers after Andrew Luck. Like, let's just give it a shot here and see what this guy can do at this point in his career. And they had a pretty good year. They didn't end up winning a playoff game, but he wasn't rotten. And then the last reason why I'm warming to the idea of Russell Wilson is this. It undeniably makes them more interesting.
Steelers country. Let's ride.
They become a more interesting, entertaining team to me.
Well, because he still has name recognition. He still has juice. They have no juice right now offensively.
And look, I don't think it'll happen. But we have seen guys like Kurt Warner. He was in New York. He didn't play well. He got benched for Eli Manning, went to Arizona, rebounded, had a renaissance, gets the Cardinals to the Super Bowl. Carson Palmer went to Oakland in between Arizona. Wasn't very good with the Raiders.
It would be
gets
a hell
to the
of
Cardinals. Bruce Arian gets them.
Yeah, it would be a hell of a thing,
They almost get to a Super Bowl with him.
It would be a hell of a thing if a guy that most people feel is on the clear downside of his career physically and played well but still got benched under Sean Payton would show up here and find the fountain of youth.
I know.
You want to talk about unlikely scenarios. You really have laid one out there. I'm laughing at the mere. I'm just thinking of him in black and gold. Steelers country, let's ride. Him just being, what is he, on the board of Acrisure? We found out he's like tight with Thomas Tull. I'm just laughing thinking about it.
And even though Pittsburgh's a small market and his wife is a huge celebrity, it's a legacy franchise.
Oh, they'd just spend
it's an iconic team.
They'd spend a ton of time in New York. She's close, an hour-long flight from New York.
They also don't have anybody holding down number 3.
No unofficially retired jerseys or anything like that.
No, they haven't unofficially retired Jeff Reed yet.
Didn't Landry wear 3?
He did.